Hey, Rainbow Up Village, Cicely Majid here, CEO, National Director, and Pageant Coach of Rainbow Universe Pageants and Youth Services. And as I promised, this is my self-love video series for February. As you know, February is the month of Valentine's Day, and it is the month where we want to express love and give love and get love and all that jazz. And a lot of times people think of it as a romantic holiday. And I don't see it that way. I see it as a holiday an opportunity to really share extra love for the people that are in your life, your loved ones. And that means going out of your way more than you've ever have before. That means kind of letting go of lust, because it's not all about that. It's about love. So love and lust are two different things. Love is sharing and giving intimacy without having to touch somebody. Giving things, taking them out, just sending somebody a card, shooting an email, a text message saying, I love you. I wanted you to know I love you today. Sending your mom some flowers or something like that. Your sister some candy, whatever. So I wanted to do a self-love video series because, I want people to understand, and this is what I teach you. So this is mostly for 13 through 24-year-olds. However, I encourage anybody else who's watching to if you're an adult, if you're older than 25 or younger than 13, I hope it encourages you as well. So basically, we tend to forget ourselves, and we tend to gravitate towards people and want to socialize and want to get to know other people and connect with them. And because of that, we might neglect ourselves. We might forget about, us. What about us? What do we need? And so in order to express love to somebody, if you say you love somebody and you don't do anything to express it, you don't show it, you don't show up for them, you don't take them out, you don't spend time with them, you don't share your dreams with them, you don't communicate with them on a regular basis, it's very, very hard for a person to believe that you love them. You don't always have to say I love you. Your actions speak louder than your words. So if you do love somebody, it's important that you love yourself first, because if you can't feel that love inside personally, then you'll have a really, really difficult time expressing it to other people. Now, children or youth that go through traumatic experiences, or somebody that has been through something damaging or devastating, it might stifle you. You might become like a robot or a stone, and be really hard to express how you feel to other people. And so they may not think that you're a lovable person. And that's not necessarily true. Sometimes we just got to love hard, just keep loving and loving and loving until we can bring it out of a person. And that's not always easy, because some people are really stubborn, and some people just, they might push you away. So you have to be willing to understand that you're still loved if that happens to you, and you're important. That's why self-love is very, very important. So basically, when I looked up the definition of self-love, I was really disappointed. I was on the internet, and it mostly talked about being selfish and narcissistic, and I was like, what? That's not what I meant by what self-love really is. I think they're thinking about people who are full of themselves, very conceited, and it's all about me. But that's not what I mean by self-love. What I mean by self-love is caring for yourself, making sure that you are well, going to your doctor's appointments when you need to go, your physical exams, making sure that you don't have a disease or something going on in your body that you don't know about, making sure that your mental health is okay, that you are spiritually connected to your God, if you believe in God, or just that you're connected to your spirit. Everybody has a spirit. You don't have to you don't have to believe in God or be a Christian or anything, but we all have a spirit, which exits our body when we die. So taking care of that spiritual part of you, taking care of your physical body, going to the gym, exercising, walking, running, swimming, whatever it is that you do. And then tender loving care, spoiling yourself, recreation, having a good time, getting out and about and going to the park and walking your dog, going on, excursions or vacations with your friends or family members, spoiling yourself, taking yourself out to dinner, buying yourself something special, whatever it is that you like to do for you, you need to do that. That's how you love yourself. That's how it works. So, so let me tell you about, so when I looked at the definition, I was really disappointed. I was like, what? This is not what I mean by self-love, So I was like, oh, what? Get that off of So let's talk about the origins of love. So we know John 3:16 says, it's the verse in the Bible that God so loved the world that whomever believeth in him shall not perish but have everlasting life. So that verse is basically talking about the origins of actual authentic love. And that's Jesus. That's God sending his son to the planet to love everybody, to take on all these diseases and all these pain and suffering and everything on the planet that went wrong. God, as Jesus, took on all of that on the cross. And that is the ultimate love. God, hanging on the cross. I'm in the car, so I can't do that. Jesus hanging on the cross and expressing the most unconditional and purest love that there could ever be. So if you're looking for that love, if you really want to love yourself, that's where it begins. You have to start a relationship with Christ, and that relationship has to be solid. That's not to say that we're going to make mistakes and we're going to forget to pray, or we're going to forget to read our Bible or do our Bible study or go to church or something like that. That just means that you have to be consistent with it. Talk to God just like you're talking to your bestie. You don't want to lose touch with your bestie or your spouse or something like that, or your boyfriend or girlfriend or your parent. So you consistently, call them every once in a while. You answer the phone when they call. You hang out. You spend time together. You make plans together. You can't really do that with God, but you make plans in a spiritual way. So you get on your knees and you talk to God. You take an hour out of your day, or in the morning, get up earlier if you need to, or take 10, 15 minutes if you need to, and do a Bible study. Put a Bible app on your phone, read some verses, do some devotionals. I mean, there's all kinds of apps out there. There's tons of ways that you can do this. I have a JesusNet program, and I can give you tons of, tools for that and resources. But just making time for God and talking to God about everything, putting God first, so that God knows that, when the Bible also says that, seek God first so that all these things can be added unto you. So that basically means that when you are asking for something, when you really, really want something and you're desiring something, and you don't really know, you're not really thinking about God giving it to you. You're like, I'm going to do this myself. It's probably not going to work out the way that you want it to. It usually doesn't, because God knows more than we know ourselves. God knows us better because God created us. So God knows our future. God knows everything about us that we don't know, knew us before we were born. So that means God has your best interest at heart, right? So God knows the path that you're on, knows how you're going to get there, and knows that it's going to be good for you if you follow that path. So that means you have to be able to trust God, and that means you have to take time out for God first. And that means just do something in your day. When you wake up in the morning, take out your Bible, read a verse, do your devotional, pray, listen to some music, sing to God, dance to God. I love doing that. Sometimes I can get in the spirit and I'm just like gone, I'm just like, like drunk in the spirit, and it just feels really good because it's your spirit, and your spirit is very, very strong and powerful, and that actually connects you to psychic abilities. Everybody has those abilities. I talked about this before, and you connect with those abilities, and it's just a powerful, overwhelming feeling. And when you go to church, you see people praising and they're in the spirit, and they're just like gone somewhere, and it's because they are so connected to God, so spiritually drunk, that they have lost, they're not thinking about anything physical or anything around them. They're just like totally into it with God. And that's where God really wants us. And when you do stuff like that, you put God first in your life, then all these things that you're praying about, all these things that you need, will be added unto you. And so self-love is important in that aspect, that you have to seek God first and feel that love within you. Know that there is a being there that cares so much for you and loves you no matter what you do, no matter who you are, what you look like, what your lifestyle is, whether you go to church or not, whether you love people or not, or do anything for people. God still loves you. And if you feel that, if you take the time to have that consistent relationship, you'll feel it. And then you'll start thinking, wow, I'm loved. I'm loved. I'm going to take care of myself. I'm important. And so that's what, self-love is all about. Thinking about the origins of love, and then making sure that you take time for yourself. Now, I was talking about my eyeshadow color. So every time I'm going to do a video, I'm going to do a different eyeshadow color. And this color is going to represent something. It'll be a symbol of something that has to do with what I'm talking about. So I'm talking about the purest of love today. So I chose white, white eyeshadow today. I love eyeshadow. It's actually my favorite makeup. I don't usually wear makeup, but unless I'm going on a date or I'm going out, with some friends or family or, a party or something like that, or maybe work at a meeting, I'll wear a little bit. But for the most part, I love to be natural. I just, love my natural skin and my natural beauty, my freckles and my moles and everything. I don't care, I love that because that's who I am. When you take the makeup off, you want to be able to look at the person in the mirror. And if you wear too much of it, that's all you see. You take it off and you're like, man, who are you? So you want to be as natural as you possibly can. That's why I have those inner beauty tips, and why Rainbow Universe Pageants and Youth Services is an inner beauty pageant system, and not in, all about the glitz and the superficialities and, all that stuff. So white represents purity. And, that makes me feel like I have a connection to some pure love, and that's God's love, of course. Now, I make mistakes with love, like we all do. You may forget to call somebody that you love. You may forget to call your mom or your dad and say, I love you. I don't say it every day to people that I love and care about. I'm get busy, and sometimes you're just like, you forget, or you're just tired and you just don't want to talk. You just don't want to say anything. Married couples, this happens to them as well. You get complacent and you're settled and you're just busy, and you got kids running around and you're busy with work and everything. And you kind of forget to take that time and love each other and really talk to each other and look each other in the eyes and really express what you're feeling. And so that pure love that comes from God, that is the purest of all love. So when I have that, I know that I am loved, whether I'm with somebody in a relationship or not. Whether somebody tells me that they love me or not, I always know that God loves me, always. So that's the best part of self-love, the best part of the origins of love. So my eyeshadow is for pure love. So let's talk about self-neglect. So this is something that prevents us from loving ourselves and expressing love to ourselves. So if we neglect our hygiene, if we neglect our spirit, like I said before, if you don't pray, you don't go to church, you don't read your Bible, don't listen to, the music that fuels your spirit. If you are obsessed with your flesh and physical pleasures, you're neglecting parts of you that you need to love, you need to care for. So self-neglect can prevent you from having that self-love. And you don't want to do that. You want to be very, very careful with that, because self-love is very, very important. And self-neglect can lead you in a direction of addictions, and also of mental health issues. And that means that something's missing there. You're neglecting something. Just like, if you have a child and the kid is not, you don't talk to your kid, or you just ignore the kid. And you're like, man, that, the kid's like, God, my mom doesn't love me. My dad doesn't really care about me, because they don't talk to me. And they just, give me a cell phone or a tablet, and then they go watch their movie or whatever and hang out with their friends and stuff. And, you're neglecting your kid. We do that to ourselves as well. So if you don't eat right, if you eat really crappy food, like fast food all the time, if you are late all the time wherever it is that you go, if you forget to do your hair and it looks all raggedy, and you look unkempt, if you forget to wash your face, or take a shower every day, or take a bath, or if you don't clean up after yourself, you don't wash your hands. We know that, COVID really, plastered it in our heads that wash your hands, very important. Because I even see people, when I go in the women's bathroom, I'm out in public, I see women coming out of the stall, and they'll walk right out of the bathroom. I'm like, what? Did you just walk out of there and not wash your hands? It's just gross to me. You're touching stuff, and that's where you get germs. And so COVID just kind of really ingrained it in us to please wash your hands, do that 20-second wash under the sink, and be clean. So if we're neglecting all of that stuff, we are not loving ourselves. So it's important that we find time to do that. So my tip for you today, love is love. So think about love as just love. It's not, it's not lust. You don't really have to do anything about it. You can express it verbally. You can um, show it by, doing something sweet but gentle, or subtle. You don't have to like go out of your way and do anything. But love is love. It's not anything other than what it is. And sometimes people mistaken it for sex. Somebody gave me some drugs, or somebody gave me attention, and that means they love me. And that doesn't mean that they love you. It means maybe that they see something in you that needs attention. Maybe they want you to like them. Maybe they want you to give them attention, and so they're going to give you attention. That's not really love. Maybe they're obsessed with you. Maybe they follow you around or chase you online or something, and that's not love. Love is just love. So if you feel something for somebody, and you want to express that to your family member or a friend or a significant other, I encourage you to tell them, and remember that it's not anything external outside of what it actually is. So I hope you understand what I'm trying to say there, that we don't have to do anything to say that we love somebody. You don't have to go buy them gifts, and you don't have to take them places. But if they feel it, if they know, if you spend time with them, that's really all you need. Spending time with them, talking to them on the phone, talking to them online, talking to them, on video, spending time with them in person. That's love enough. So that's pretty much what I wanted to say about love. That's kind of the beginning of self-love, taking care of you and then being able to express that to other people. So another tip is, when you find something that you really love that makes you feel loved, makes you feel like you're loving yourself. So my eyeshadow makes me feel loved. So that's why I put it on, so I can express to everybody, this is self-love for me. I'm putting eyeshadow on, which I usually don't wear, but it makes me feel good. It brings out my eyes, my face pops or whatever. And I just feel good about having my cute little eyeshadow on. I love the glitter ones too. The glitter ones are really cute. And I always have my nails done, so I make sure that I love myself there. So that's important. Take care of yourself. Do something sweet and kind for yourself today or throughout the month of February, to show that you really love you and that you're not waiting for somebody else to give that to you. Because if you do that, you may never get what you want. So there's a book called The 5 Love Languages, and I think it's Gary Zukov or Gary Cooper Coleman, something like that. I'll do a piggyback on Tumblr, but on Messages to Mankind. And that book talks about the 5 love languages, and these love languages are about things that people need to feel loved. So one of them is like, do you need physical touch to feel loved? Do you need somebody to spend time with you to feel loved? Do you need somebody to take you out somewhere and let you know that you're important? Different types of ways, 5 different love languages. So I encourage you to read that book and try to figure out which one that is most important to you. And if you are involved with somebody, or if you have people in your life, let them know, express that to them and tell them, this is what I need to feel loved. And hopefully if they truly love you, they'll give it to you. Desperation is not love also, by the way. So if somebody says, I'll do whatever you want me to do, I'll eat that tree, I'll put that rock in my, in my pants, or I'll eat the dirt, or if they do something really stupid and twisted, that's not love. That's desperation. And that means they've got a severe mental illness. So that means they're obsessed with you. And so you have to determine what's love and what isn't love. So that's pretty much all I have for you today. That is self-love. So do take some time out of your busy day or evening to express love to yourself, so that you are better able to go out and express love to somebody else. And not only that, this will prepare you when you are ready to meet or collide with your soulmate, or the person that you're meant to be with. You will be ready when they show up in your life, and you'll be able to communicate with them and express love to them and show them that this, I really want to be with you, because you have taken time to love yourself. So thank you so much for listening. I will see you next Friday for video number 2 for my self-love video series. XOXO.